Hello and welcome to Get Into Games on Air, a podcast about board games and the people who play them. I am your host, Craig, and as always, I am joined by the one and the only Rebecca.
Whoop, whoop, I'm here.
She's here. Welcome to episode 17, a beginner's guide to UKGE.
The first of many.
Part 1. So yeah, this will be our part 1 towards UK Board Games Expo. It is a large topic, so we're going to need to spread it over a few episodes. We are 31 days as of recording this episode away from the biggest board game convention in the United Kingdom of England and everywhere else as part of the United Kingdom, and also the third biggest in the world.
Wow.
The world.
And I also said to Craig that we should film?
No,
we're definitely
we should
not
film it all.
We should record it earlier so that people have the chance, if they haven't already, to get some tickets.
Get them tickies. Go buy them tickies.
And join us.
Join us.
At the UKGE.
At the UKGE.
Because if we do it like a week before, then it's like, oh, I wish you would have told me about it 3 weeks ago and I could have booked some time off work.
What is this, the UKGE?
So as it is, we are doing this now, so we whet your appetite. So that you wish to come.
Your whistle.
And then more people coming to UKGE. And
yes.
And we'll give you like hints and tips the closer we get to.
Yeah. No, absolutely. So yeah, this is our episode 1, part 1 of the UKGEs, the Board Game Expo, which will be in its 16th year, one of those two. On the website it says both 17th and 16th, so I don't know if it knows really. So that's good. But yeah, and it'll be our Ford.
No, it'll be
our third expo. Yeah, I've been doing a big Instagram for 3 years.
We used to go to a thing called Witchwood.
Oh yeah,
we went to a thing. No, we
went once.
Saying we used to go.
We went once, and there was a big pandemic.
Witchwood, which was like a folk festival. And it's really good. Now we can't go because Witchwood and UKGE are always the same weekend. So since we found out about UKGE, we now can't go to Witchwood again.
So's the Epsom Derby.
But hey ho.
Board games.
You win some, you lose some.
And this is the podcast about board games and the board games that board game them.
So, what's hit our table?
No, that's a good point. We're going to start the episode with the usual what has hit our table. Then we're going to go briefly into a few things about UKGE, what you should do if it's your first convention, what you should do if it's your 19th convention. If you've been to the convention any times in between the 1st and 19th, I can't help you right now.
Well, there haven't been 19.
Oh my gosh, time travelers are available in your area.
And also, you headed up with, it's a beginner's guide, so we're not really talking to the people who have been 16 times before.
Well, that's it.
They know what to do.
Hop into your DeLorean and hold on to your butts.
To corner the market of the people who haven't been, who want to go.
Yes, I would. That's going to make a lot of new people go to UKG when you say, "I want to corner you."
No.
I want to corner you at UKGE.
Anyway,
what's it at our table?
So we played. I think it was on Instagram. We played a game of. Quacks of Quedlinburg, the Jewel, at the start of the week. And then we've literally probably just played games, mostly with the same people all week. Yeah. So on Tuesday, we had a little BGA sesh with Brad and Susie from Games with Beanie and My Shelf Life. I was getting there.
Ooh.
We played Next Station Paris, which I then subsequently went on to play a couple of games of while Craig was at work during the week. We played Far Away, which blew my mind, and I have no idea what's going on with that game.
I think that's going to be one to learn physical rather than online. Next Station Paris was good, by the way.
Next Station Paris was good. Far Away was not so good, which will be controversial because everybody loves it. But I couldn't understand what was going on in BGA. So, yeah, definitely one maybe to try in real life. And then we played, as we must always play at the end of the night when we are too tired to really play.
Yep.
Sea, Salt and Paper, because it just is a thing we do.
Yep, 3-hour game of Sea, Salt and Paper as a nightcap.
Then you went to work for most of the week.
Hello.
I played a game of Potion Explosion with Nanda.
Yes.
Meandart. And like I said, I also played some Next Station Paris by myself.
Well done.
While you were not there. And then we went for a lovely games day with Games with Beanie, where we managed to play 11 games. So we played Coffee Rush, which we now know we have played wrong because we ended up with millions of orders.
And very little coffee made.
It felt like, what just happened? All these people are left without orders. Subsequently, Craig and I were talking about it on the way home, checked the rules, and we were playing it wrong. So we would like to play Coffee Rush, possibly, again with the correct rules.
It was definitely a rush.
We also played MLEM, Space Agency, in the real life for the first time with the mat and the cats and everything else. And I would say it is cool, and I want the actual version because it's pretty.
I finally understand that game.
But the problem you had was when you play it online, for some reason the interface on BGA scrolls the rocket up and down, and Craig had an awful game where he just couldn't work out what was going on.
So I had to play the version on the table. When we saw the real version, I just had to rock from left to right. I wanted that scrolling.
Anyway, it was very good. We had a spot of lunch, and while we were having our lunch,
what did we have for lunch? So we had Scotch eggs. We had pizza.
Okay. Why are we doing what we had for lunch?
Oh, I thought sorry.
Why are we just listing?
I don't know. I don't know. I thought we were listing what hit our table.
No. Yes. What hit our table food-wise? Well, we had
coffee.
shepherd's pie for dinner one night, nice. And then we had lasagna and some pizza. No.
That was nice.
Anyway, while we were having lunch, we played a quick game of zombie dice, which I had never heard of. It's a pot with lots of dice in it. Essentially, you roll the dice. You roll 3 dice at a time. You are collecting brains. If you roll 3 bangs, then you lose all the brains, and it's the first to 13 brains or something. Anyway, it was quite fun. We then won a cooperative game of Decorum, where it wasn't as passive-aggressive as I was thinking it would be. No, there wasn't as much disagreement.
Chill.
We were pretty quick on working out the puzzle. It all worked out quite nicely.
I was quite surprised. What
I found was, if you just pass all your information to Brad, he sits, ponders a little bit, works it out, everybody wins. That's the strategy.
Okay, that's a good strategy.
We played some Kabuto Sumo. We played some Cockroach Poker.
I enjoyed that. That was good.
So for anybody who doesn't know, Cockroach Poker is you have a hand of cards. They all have different insects on, so like bats. Well, they're not all insects. They're just creatures.
Different insects on, like bats and rats.
No, bats, rats, frogs, cockroaches, flies.
An insect.
Yeah, anyway,
spiders.
Lots of
beetles.
Creatures. Essentially, you can pass a card to somebody else hidden, and you say, this is a bat. Now, the person can choose to say, yes, it is a bat, and they check it. And if it is a bat, then you take the card back. If it is not, is that right? If it's not a bat, then
so it's basically yes or no. If they get it right, you have to keep the card. If they get it wrong, they have to take the card. Yeah. If they get four of a kind in front of them, they lose. Everyone wins.
You can look at the card if you choose to, and then pass it on to somebody else. But it can't keep going round. It can only go round until everybody's had a chance. And it was quite. It was
I liked it.
Then we played the cutest game ever. with all these miniature ducks, and I wanted. It was called Abduction.
Yes.
And there are many coloured ducks, little ducks in a spaceship. You pull out the ducks and you put them on your, I don't know what it would be, like a...
It's like a conveyor belt. It's like a portal, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a conveyor belt.
And then you have to make certain shapes, patterns with your ducks to fulfill objectives. But it is super cute.
Yeah.
And
it's from very special
ducks.
games.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks really,
it's really good. Then we introduced Brad and Susie to Molehill Meadows, which always goes down really well. And again, is another cute looking game.
Yep, fully funded on GameFound, and hopefully will be available at UKGE.
Nice.
Which is good, because that's what this episode's about.
Then we jumped out of some parachutes. Not literally. No, we didn't jump out of parachutes. We jumped out of a plane.
Yeah, if we jumped out of parachutes, we would have
died. One person didn't have a parachute. They died. Anyway, played hit the silk.
Yeah.
And we lost. So that was no good. Then we played Potion Explosion, which seems to be our game of the moment at the minute. Anytime... So we've had a couple of visitors.
Yep.
And every time you've been to the dice box with visitors, you've played Potion Explosion. Whenever we go to somebody's house who has Potion Explosion, we seem to ask to play Potion Explosion.
Yep.
Seems to be the game of the moment.
It's almost like we should own Potion Explosion, but then if we owned it, we wouldn't have anything to play at people's houses, so we won't.
And then we introduced Brad and Susie to Dog Park, which was really nice at 4 players. It worked really well. In fact, I might have enjoyed it more at 4 players than 2 players.
Yep.
But that game is really growing me. I'm more, I've always been a cat person. And so Dog Park never really I wasn't really into it. We played a couple of games and I was like, is this good? I'm not sure. The more we play it, the more I'm like, okay, I can see the strategy now. I still think for 2 players, I would play it with new tricks. We might do a whole episode on Dog Park. Dogs and cats we might do. I don't know. But the game is growing on me and I really enjoy it.
Yeah, I think it is, like you said, I think at 4 player, it really hits its own little stride. And I like that kind of interactions you have with each other, and it's fun, and the artwork's great, and it does have that kind of watercolor wingspan kind of esque artwork, and if you like dogs, then it's a no-brainer. Definitely get that game.
Then on yesterday, I was desperate to play Ark Nova after we had played it with PJ and Katie, the Cajun Gamer, and Mrs. K. Is it Mrs. Cajun Gamer? Because before they sort of taught it to us, I wasn't so keen on it. We played another game of it, just us 2. It went well. Yeah. It seemed to be quite quick to set up. It didn't take 8. I mean, it maybe took 2 hours
to play.
A bit.
Yeah, maybe.
But it was quite enjoyable. It was quite close.
Yeah.
And I would say now we have got the gist of that.
Yeah.
And it's moved up my
we now know how to
moved
play
up
that
in
one
my
properly,
estimation.
So we never have to play again.
No, we do. I think that having the insert for Ark Nova definitely helps. So if you haven't got an insert, get yourself an insert, because then it's just easy to pull out the pieces that you need and organise it.
The problem is that game is component soup. The components aren't the best quality in the world, but they do the job. And it's most definitely component soup. Like another company that always produces component soup in their boxes, and that is Board and Dice. Speaking of Board and Dice,
we tried out yesterday evening Books of Time, which we had seen, which is a nice segue, at UKGE, and we're trying to get sort of a play of it. Yeah. But it was one of the stalls which was always heaving. We managed to speak to the people at Board and Dice, but didn't actually manage to get to play it. However, when you're looking at it from a stall point of view, it looks like, oh, what's this? It's really interesting. So always being keen on trying to find out more about it. It arrived this week and we tried it out. Now, I'm not saying that after the first play I completely understand it, but I can see what you have to do. Components are nice. You've got the ring binders where you're putting the pages in.
Yeah, you're
it's
basically
really
building a
tight.
book. Yeah.
You have to work out, what resources you're going to need in order to move up the track, but also to write your pages. It's quite thinky in thinking, what should I do first and how am I going to manage that?
Yeah.
And it's the rounds are dependent on the Chronicle book, and each time you take a turn, the last person to take their turn turns the Chronicle book.
Yeah.
And that's how you know when the game will be over. It's good.
Yeah, it's really interesting. You're trying to build a book, and you're trying to build the chapters or pages of this book with these specific icons on. But you've got to do it to score. You've got to put these icons in the right order. So you've got to turn the page or turn the page back or close. But you've got to put the things in the right place in your book to score. And it's just a really interesting puzzle. Like you said, I don't think we mastered it by any means because we played it all the one time. But it's very interesting. It's very tight. There's very interesting objectives and ways to play it, and there's loads of avenues, like a proper Euro. There's loads of ways to pass the victory. It's just finding the one that suits you.
There's a lot of iconography, I would say, for our first game. You're going to constantly be referring back to the player icons to find out what things mean.
Yeah.
But now that we've played it once, I would say the second play is going to be much easier. But we'll let you know because we'll play a few more games of it, and then Craig will probably do a review.
He probably will. Probably will. So yeah. Firstly, I would like to mention that this podcast is sponsored by Rent, Shuffle and Roll. So head to www.rentshuffleandroll.co.uk, and if you use the code GITG50, you can get 50% off your first month's rental with Rent, Shuffle and Roll. Another great thing about Rent, Shuffle and Roll linking us perfectly into UKGE is they actually sponsor the library in the Hilton.
I was going to ask you if they're doing that again this year.
They are indeed.
Ooh,
so,
nice.
When you book your tickies to UKGE and you've done your UKGEing and you want to do more board gaming, you can head off to the Hilton, go into the library there and check out the Rent, Shuffle and Roll library. So that's a good thing. But yeah, head to www.rentshuffleandroll.co.uk using the code GITG50 to get 50% off your first month of board game rentals. So yes, UKGE is around the corner. 31 days away as of recording. 30 days probably as of you listening.
What if they don't listen till one day before UKGE?
Then you're late.
What if they listen to it 10 days after?
Then they're late. Then imagine that this is for UKGE 2025. So yeah, Friday the 31st of May until the 2nd of June. 3 days of non-stop board gaming, events, halls, and so many people. But how do you survive it?
Well, I wouldn't say you need to survive it.
No.
I would say you need to enjoy it.
You do. Absolutely.
I think that there's an expectation with conventions that you'll do so many things, you'll see so many people. I mean, my biggest piece of advice is to just go and enjoy it. I don't think we tend to go with certainly the first day we just go to survey.
Yes.
Fridays are usually a surveying day.
We do, yeah.
Just see the lay of the land, walk the halls a little bit, see what's available.
Yeah.
And then potentially on the Saturday and the Sunday, we plan a route of things we want to do.
Yeah.
For us, on a Friday, you're usually packed out with businessy meeting.
Yeah, Friday's normally meetings, with publishers, having a chat with people playing games, with other content creators and businesses and publishers, just to see how they're getting on, see some new games, see some exciting things in the future. I enjoy that bit. That's always fun on the Friday. Thursday, I get to do the press evening on Thursday. So if you're listening to this and you were at the press event on Thursday, I will see you there as well. Get to meet people a bit earlier. But yeah, Friday is definitely the day where we go. We have a few meetings. We
usually go without the children.
We go with that. Yeah, absolutely. And that's one of the reasons that we like to survey, because we will take the kids on the weekend, the Saturday and the Sunday, or maybe just the Sunday, or maybe just the Saturday, one way or another. But we'll take the kids, so it's good. And this would be my first bit of advice if you are thinking of taking children: is if there is a way that you can plan where the things are that you need to know where they are. So if you need to know where like the family gaming section is, make sure you're aware of where that is, because the family gaming section is huge and there's always somewhere to sit. There's always somewhere to go and just take a load off and just relax for a bit with the kids that might be a bit fed up of walking around 3 massive halls of people and board games.
I would also take note of where the toilets are.
Yeah.
Where the food vendors are.
Yeah.
You know, just get the lay of the land for those kind of things.
Yeah.
There are lots of things around.
Definitely.
But you know, if you know in hall, I don't know, say it's hall 1, the toilets are on the left or whatever.
Yeah.
At least you know, especially when you're taking the children, where you're going to end up. What you're going to do. Not that we want to talk about toilets all day long.
No, not this time. Also knowing like your exits, knowing like where you can get some fresh air, because a lot of people just knowing that you can get out, because there is that just drum of activity, that sound of just people.
Yeah, so I would tend to walk through all the halls, just roughly, not looking at everything. But I would walk through 1, 2, and then the open gaming bit.
Yeah.
Just so that you are, you know, you can see what's available, and then maybe give yourself a breather, sit down, play a game.
Yeah.
And then create a plan of attack.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't think I would buy anything on the Friday.
Yeah.
I tend to just observe, see what's about. I mean, if there's a really good deal, I guess.
We don't tend to go with a we haven't in previous time. We haven't gone with a shopping list.
No.
We've heard about games coming out. We end up with stuff. We end up spending money somehow. But I never plan to like, this hot game is out. I need to get a copy. I just kind of...
Oh, that's another piece of advice.
Board games will come out. Like, don't worry.
That's what I would say. I would say, if you hear, so we heard last year, you must get After Us. You know, only the first 40 people in the queue got After Us.
Yeah, it sold out in 20 minutes, if that, every day.
We were like, okay, what's special about After Us? I know this won't help. Hush it.
No.
At all.
No. Sorry.
But you know, it was only like 2 months later when we got After Us.
Yep.
And it's the same version that was at.
Yeah, it's the exclusive Big Ben edition that was also available at Aircon this year.
Don't get sucked into the new thing. Must have game.
Yeah.
Go with an open mic, because there's so much to see, and some of the best things are not even available yet. It's just to see the
new
breadth and the different games that you can get, because there's just and actually some of the stores have some brilliant games that are not new, and but you still haven't seen. They're new to you because you haven't actually seen them before, but they're not new.
Yeah, no, definitely. The one of the highlights that everyone loves is the bring and buy. with the bring and buy, just remember it's cash only, and there is no place to get cash out at the NEC normally. Normally the cash machines don't work, so it's cash.
Well, I presume they did work, but everybody's taking the cash out.
It's cash only, and no bags in there.
Yeah.
So you need someone to be bag lady or bag man outside and look after the bags while you go in. It's a bit of a nuisance when you go as a two, and you can't take your bags. And you've got to try. Then you've got I trust everyone, but I don't know if I trust my bag with my car keys and my wallet, but whatever. My wallet's going in the bring and buy with me. But just leave my bag outside and then go walk around. I don't. That one's a bit of a thing for me. But yeah, the bring and buy is really good to get some great bargains. Be prepared to queue for that. Be prepared to wait a long, long, long time. Hopefully, last year it was insane. Last year was just...
They've changed some things up, though, I think.
Yes,
so I feel like it's going to be more successful and a bit better and less of the queuing, more people getting in. And
I think they've they've taken advice from the previous year's chaos that it was there, and they've limited the amount of things you can sell per person, because there was a point where people were bringing like
hundreds,
the crates, the big metal trolley
Who's selling
things.
Hundreds of games? I mean, why aren't you keeping your games? That's crazy.
Well, yeah. I mean, people do though. People wait until UKGE to sell them all at once.
Yeah.
At a price. So that's fair enough. But
yeah,
they've made some positive changes to that, which I think is going to be good. And it's definitely something that a lot of people look forward to. Even though we don't necessarily go in there that much, it'd be remiss of us not to mention that.
I would say we tend to do it more on a Friday, but talk to the vendors, talk to the people who are making the games. A lot of people, we had a friend there, Trying Games, last year, who was demoing his game that's going to be on Kickstarter, I believe.
Very soon, yeah.
And all the vendors that we've met, there was that pigeon game, was it the chip game? Do you remember that?
Yeah.
I mean, there's lots of stories to be told. People want to talk about how they've created their games, how they've made their games, why they've chosen themes. Everyone is super friendly. And it's really easy to talk to people. So I would say don't be afraid to have a conversation, ask questions about their games. People are keen to talk and showcase what they're creating. And I love that because you just learn so much about people and
it's just it's always a really nice atmosphere to get in there. And Fridays and Sundays are quieter than a Saturday. Saturdays are manic as anything, but it's still enjoyable. It's just that you won't necessarily have as much time to kind of get there. But you can really ask the questions on a Friday. You can really spend some good quality time, even whatever time you get. Because I
think people are eager as well on Friday because they haven't.
It's the first
by
day.
the time you get to Sunday, yes, I've had this conversation 3 times.
Yeah.
No, they probably had the 3 times.
3 times. That's once a day. I've had it once a day. I've spoken to you Friday.
Times.
I've spoken Saturday.
More than that.
Yeah.
But on Fridays, people are, energized and ready to go, and that's why they came.
Yeah.
And we was it last year or the year? No, it was the year before when we met Robert from
from Ely
River Games, and we spent an hour playing his game. People are eager to show, and some people have come a long way as well to showcase their game from other countries. So
make sure and there are games that you miss. I think last year Outrun the Bear was there, and I completely missed that. And that's another thing. It doesn't matter how well you plan. You are going to miss stuff. You are going to miss people, and you are going to miss things.
But I think don't worry about that.
Exactly.
I think just be calm, chill, and just enjoy what you do get to do.
Yeah, that's it.
Don't worry about what you've missed or who you've missed. It doesn't matter.
There will be occasions for that you have to just take in, especially if it's your first time going. to UKGE, and I think we get that a lot of the time. A lot of people that we make friends with on Instagram and social media and stuff like that, they're very excited. It's their first convention. They get very nervous, but they're also really excited. And one of the exciting things I think about is, I get to meet the people that I've been speaking to for ages on Instagram, and I love doing that. I love chatting to everyone. I don't mind that at all. I'm really happy. I'm really excited to meet everyone. But at the end of the day, you might not bump into everyone, and that's okay. I really think that people should enjoy the experience of UKGE, what they're going to get from it, more than worrying about social media taking their photos.
Yeah, you can spend the whole time selfieing with people, spotting people.
Yeah.
And I like to spot people.
Yeah,
the best of
yeah,
them.
Absolutely.
But not at the expense of, getting to play some games and sitting down at the table. And
yeah, because you're going to get meet designers, you're going to meet publishers, you're going to get to see the heart and soul of the board game industry as well as the board game community.
Sometimes you get secret things that you didn't know you were going to do.
Yeah, sometimes you get secret things that you didn't know you were going to do. So that's always fun too. Sometimes you get to play the art project before it's even in the country.
I think I would say that if you are desperate to meet up with somebody, that you reach out to them before you go and arrange a time and perhaps a place to meet.
Yeah.
And maybe choose a game that you're going to try and
play together.
Yeah. I mean, it does happen that we've met a couple of people and just sort of found a table. I think it was Valbara.
Yeah, we played with Julie and Ali,
and we just happened to be at that stand and there was a space, so we played. Yeah. And I think that's how you have to be. You can plan it, but then I think sometimes you just have to be like, oh, wow, okay, this has happened, and just embrace.
Yeah. I think you do. I think the other thing about it is, I think the idea of the UKGE and how big and vast it is, which it is, I'm not going to lie, it is massive. It's not as big as some, but the thought of it is actually worse than the reality of it. When you get there, it's like, whoa, this is busy. Oh, but actually, it's not terrible. It's not the busiest I've ever experienced in my life of things.
There are quite a lot of, so there's like corridors and because it's quite a big complex, you can walk away from the halls sometimes to go and get food and just take a moment away from the buzz, because I feel like the bit that gets you is the like hum of the noise, just a constant like drone of noise. That's what tires me out. And just sometimes 5 minutes away from that at lunchtime or to get a coffee, and then you go back and you do it all over again. Yeah,
absolutely. I think there's that. Yeah, it's like we said earlier, just knowing your escape routes, that you can go, right, okay, I'm a bit overwhelmed, or I got a headache, or I just need to get a coffee, or I need to get somewhere quickly, and then I can come back and enjoy this.
Sorry. No? If you're taking children, or you're a bit more nervous about the crowds, I would say Sunday is the day to go. Usually on Friday and Saturday, seeing the stalls, you have to sort of, nudge your way into some stalls, especially like the dice stalls and things, it's terribly busy. On Sunday last year, we were able to do I think it was sponsored by Catan, the little treasure hunt around.
That was really cool.
With the kids. We didn't even know it was there until the Sunday.
No.
But Sunday, everything is a bit more spaced out. You can see the tables, you can see the floor.
Yeah, you can actually.
You can't see the floor usually on a Saturday.
Yeah.
I mean, you can. We've exaggerated a little bit, but
you can walk instead of shuffling.
Yeah,
there's a difference.
You can see far more on a Sunday. So if you're looking for a chiller day, definitely do that. And the treasure hunts are really. The treasure hunts are good because it gets you to go to all the like key places with the children.
You get to go to loads of little stands and find the letters that you have to look for, things you have to look for. It's good, and then you get a pin, a badge for it, for doing all your stuff.
while we're on the subject of children, the Imagination Gaming Station.
Yep.
They usually have like a large King of Tokyo.
Do you know what they have on the Imagination Station? Hachette are going to have this year. I think they're going to have, because I've seen a bit of it.
Yeah.
I think there possibly will be giant Stomp the Plank.
Oh wow. Okay. So, like, usually at the Imagination Gaming, it's in the middle of one of the halls. They have loads of games and tables that you can just go and play lots of games with your children. It's usually one of the emptier spaces. I guess because the adults aren't playing those games. And there's usually somewhere to sit.
It's really spacious, I find. There's like tables, but they're well apart from each other.
The Habba Station is good for children. They usually have like giant versions of their games set up, and the staff are really helpful. The Coiled Springs usually have a children's area.
Giant King of Tokyo is always a highlight of that one.
Yeah.
I think Hereford board gamers will be there. The people who are at Aircon with the giant Suro, and I think they're there. I'm not sure. But yeah, there's a lot of cool things for kids to get involved in. There's also all the cosplayers that some children find exciting. Some children are scared to death of.
Some cosplayers scare the children on purpose.
Yeah, some cosplayers are.
We had that. So I know you have to stay in character as a cosplayer, but when you've got a 2-year, I think she was 2 or 3, and
you're dressed as a massive orc from Lord of the Rings.
It's not like a
cool
thing to try and growl
in the child's face,
because now she won't go near any cosplayer.
Yeah. But still.
But
then there's the Viking reenactment that are just chilling in the tents outside.
And if you've got older children, there's the Warhammer like paint stations. Yeah. You can go and paint.
You can do paint models, and all of that stuff.
Yeah.
There's just there's a lot for kids. There's a lot for families to do, and there's a lot for your core gamers.
Then there's some. So that I always remember like walking past games with the kids thinking, oh, I really want to play that, but there's no way I can play that with the kids. I think it was like Tricarion.
Yeah.
I saw set up, and it was like looked amazing, and the guy who was running the store said, oh, do you want to play? And I was like, I don't think I can do that with an 8-year-old and a 3-year-old. I don't think that's going to work out. So I would definitely, if you're taking children, maybe try and get a day where you can go and play those kind of games alone, and then take the children for a more family,
if that's possible. The Asmodee will always have masses of tables, really big. They've got a huge area normally of great demoers demonstrating great games. They'll have a big Star Wars Unlimited. I'm sure this year will be a big thing, as it always will be.
That's probably Lorcana as well.
The
Lorcana.
Yeah.
That was
Disney Lorcana. Hopefully it will be not as just queue managed, because last year was the launch of Lorcana.
Yeah.
Whereas this year will be, hopefully, it's been out a while now, so hopefully it'll be different.
The other thing, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. The other thing I would say is like look out for promos. Often, there's was it the Lost Ruins of Arnak? There's a card or something you can get. There's often stalls are doing like little promos or badges you can pick up.
That's it. If there are games that you enjoy, and you're going to go and see the stands, like Hachette normally do some. I think last year they did the start player token for Acropolis.
Yeah.
There's a lot. Like you said, the Lost Ruins of Arnak promo cards. So there's a lot of places that do the odd promotion for the games, just add-ons.
I think if you go play Lorcana, you get a
promo card. Play on Star Wars Unlimited, you'll get promos. You'll get the Darth Vader and Luke leader promos. So yeah, there's loads of cool things to like look out for, to get yourself to be part of the kind of enjoy the experience. The other thing would be like events. And like the live events and the competitions that they run. I
think we'll go into more detail in the next.
But just to make sure you book make sure you book onto them. I think Noel's Bard are running some.
A lot of them happen in the
John
evening.
Gracie's Werewolf. Blood on the Clock Tower, it's probably sold out already.
The other thing to say is that in the evening, so after the, halls shut at about 6.
6, yeah.
Yeah. The Hilton nearby open their doors up, and you can go and play games in their
suites and
stuff. The only thing I would say about that is, I don't know, maybe it's just a me thing, but all the corridors in the Hilton look the same, and I would be scared to find my way out.
So what I would do...
like, Craig, don't leave me, because I will never be able to...
What I'd do is, if you're at the Hilton and you're playing games in the Hilton, is bring a bag of bread. big bag of bread and drop crumbs.
You seem to go around all these, like, rooms. They all look the same, and there's all just, like, there's just hundreds of people playing games. And, are the open gaming tables still open after the hall shut? Yeah,
the open gaming tables are open after the hall shut. It's just the halls that are shut.
I would say that the only downside to the Hilton gaming tables is that they're very close together.
Yeah.
And there's often not a lot of space in between people to... So once you're sat, you have to sort of play the game with the people that you're sat next
Unless you're lucky to find a round table, but then it depends on how big the group of gamers that you're with. So the round tables don't always work. But yeah, the Hilton's a good option. But yeah, I think just the advice is just take your time, enjoy it, wear comfortable clothes, keep yourself hydrated, just enjoy it.
Trainers, no high heels. Goodness me.
I will not be wearing high heels this time. Last time I wore high heels at the event. Whoo!
Don't break your shoes in at UKGE.
Yeah, it gets warm. Deodorant, just bring some deodorant with you.
More people need to do that.
Just bring some deodorant. Just a little toot toot. And maybe don't do a toot toot. Jesus Christ, that makes life even worse.
No.
Oh my gosh. Don't do that. But yeah, is there anything else?
Well, there's always the areas where you can like play test games and things. They're good as well.
Yeah.
If you can get yourself on a play test.
There's a playtest sort of stuff. They do like designer, and if you are a designer, they do designer and publisher speed dating and stuff like that, don't they? So you can see so much stuff, so much cool new stuff coming years down the line. Stuff coming to Kickstarter, GameFound.
But for anybody who's not been to a games convention, it's sort of, I would describe it as, I don't know if anybody's been to the Ideal Home Exhibition, but like in London, there's the Ideal Home Exhibition, which is basically loads of like gadgets and things. So it's basically that, but for board games.
It's I think it's definitely something that I think everyone should try out.
But you've got Resorts World nearby, haven't you? So there's places to go eat if you want to come away from the complex for a bit.
Yeah, it's expensive, food and stuff. The food's not as good as it is an aircon, but that's another thing. Yeah, but it was actually, they did have food trucks at the Hilton, didn't they?
I think you can make it as, it can be expensive if you go to the expensive places, but also we were quite happy to share a sandwich and have a coffee. So that wasn't expensive. So it's how you want to spend your money. I'd rather spend it on board games and not food, but and often you're so busy that the time flies by and you haven't realised what the time is, and you've not eaten, and then you're wondering why you've got a headache because you haven't drunk anything. There are lots of water stations around, so that's good. You can go fill your water bottles up.
Just keep your eyes open for fun, exciting things.
And you can take pictures with Craig. I mean, you can take pictures with me, but nobody wants a picture with me. No, because we said don't spend your time selfieing, but I mean, you would be sad if nobody wanted a picture with you.
No one needs a picture with me. They can Photoshop it. I'll let them.
So
yeah, but who knows?
So we will put out another episode shortly. Yeah, maybe not the next episode, but maybe the next one after that, with more details about specifics of this year. We just wanted to kind of give you a flavour. I don't think tickets are that expensive,
No.
so check out the website because
you can get family tickets. You can get
it's not terribly expensive. Obviously, it might be expensive if you start buying all the board games, but we've taken non-board gaming friends there and introduced them to the world of board gaming, and they've loved it.
Yeah.
And
they've only spent minimal amounts of money.
Yeah. And if you're not sure about it, maybe go for a day. Maybe go for a quieter day, like a Sunday. Just pop along and see.
Yeah, especially if you're like worried about having like kids and stuff and how they'd react to it. I would recommend the one just the one
day.
One day. It's ideal. But I would say that it's a very, very good convention. It's obviously very good. It's the best one.
It is the best, and we're very excited.
Yes, excited to be there.
And we are even more excited because we don't have to pay for a hotel because we live so close to there.
Yes.
So we just drive there and back every day.
Yay! Go.
We have to pay the extortionate amount of the car park.
And it's not that expensive.
No.
We have to pay the petrol. That's the extortionate bit.
No, but it is. I do really enjoy the fact that we can just come home, sleep in our own bed, and sort of reset for the next day.
Yeah,
and then go again. It feels quite nice to do that drive back home.
Yeah,
it does mean we get less gaming in the evening. Yeah, but sometimes you're just so gamed out that actually
tired.
That's not.
It's exhausting. Yeah,
you'll tell how tired Craig is because he'll probably come home from UKGE one evening and do an Instagram live or a podcast or something.
I did a live every
and he'll be yawning his head off.
Yeah, every day afterwards last year I did an Instagram live and
you were getting tighter and tighter. Yeah, and then
still there.
What I have to do after we've been to UKGE, I'm taking 55 children to the Isle of Wight.
Yeah, well, enjoy that. I will sleep for a week.
So yeah,
potentially.
But yeah, if you have any questions about UKGE or you're unsure of anything, or maybe for the next episode you want to come on and say what your favourite thing about UKGE is, or if you're a publisher or someone who's got a stall at UKGE, maybe you want to come and entice people to come visit.
Pimp your wares.
Yeah.
That's it. That's what we call get into games. We pimp our wares. So thank you very much for listening to the podcast. And please leave a 5-star review on your podcatcher of choice, or leave a lovely review. And let us know how you're enjoying the pod, and obviously let us know what you're looking forward to at UKGE, just like some of our friends did over on Instagram this very day. So I've asked the question, what are you most excited about? And Tabletop Strategy has said playing with friends, and at Mashy Meeples is being amongst my people. Always Play Boo has said what he's looking forward to most about UKGE is potentially going next year. Board Games After Dark said meeting people. If the next question is what are you most anxious about, it's also meeting people. Spooky Meeples playing games with my long distance friends. Nice. Mr. D Chip said my first con.
Richard Carter.
DB, he's only going on the Thursday with me.
Oh, okay.
DB Games playing games with my Insta family. Nerdy Girl Gaming meeting all the lovely board game community. Board Game Shorties demoing new and old games and buying games I know for sure I will enjoy. Board Games with Joe said finding some great game bargains.
Some gate bargains.
Mogwa said buying new games. Hand Plays Games says finding you. Obviously, that's a wonderful thing that everyone needs to do. Games with Beanie have said going home at the end of the day. And Bored All the Time has said our podcast about it.
No, is it she or he?
She
said your podcast.
Yeah, your
one.
But it says games on air.
Just you.
Any advice for people who have never been? I think we've said that. Don't make a minute-to-minute plan. Wing it. That's not what we said. We didn't say wing it, Cassie. The Lorcana tournament apparently is a most attended live show. Oh, gosh. I pressed a button. People are attending all sorts. Lorcana tournaments. Blood on the Clock Tower with Ivan Brett. Nightmare Live. The TV show Nightmare with the children in the hat. Tabletop Gaming Era, Werewolf Live with John Gracie, Games with Beanie said none unless I'm doing a live podcast. I am not doing a live podcast.
Let's do a live podcast.
We're going to do a live podcast now. We're just going to guerrilla it though, because we have to hire. We have to guerrilla it. Looking forward to games, all of them. Odin and Faraway, Quacks Duel, Rove, Wormspan, Star Wars Unlimited, Cyclades, Legendary, Pac-Man. Oh, the Pac-Man Corridor is going to be there. That's going to be good fun.
He's not going to have any time to do anything else.
Yeah, the shiny ones is what Games with Beanie said on that one. People are coming from all over the UK, from Nottingham,
you asked a lot of
Staffordshire, Essex, Hereford,
wait,
Wrexham.
Stop. Go back.
Right.
Because it doesn't just say Essex, it says Essex in an Essex accent. So I'd like you to do the accent.
I don't know. I can't think of somewhere. Stoke-on-Trent, Midduck, Hampshire, with my friend from Denmark, Stoke-on-Trent. How many people are coming from Stoke-on-Trent and they don't know each other, live in Stoke-on-Trent? Worcester.
You could provide a service break.
Far away, Loot, Windmill Valley. I don't think that's the right answer to the right question.
I don't think Hand Plays Games comes from Windmill Valley.
Or Loot. Anyway, somewhere down south.
Does not want to give her a address away.
Don't dox her. Favourite thing about the expo? All the nerds. Shopping. Seeing all my gaming friends. Variety. Exploring new interests. Meeting people and trying new games. Okay, I'll start. The buzzing atmosphere. There is buzzing.
There's literally buzzing.
That's the noise of the drone of people. Meeting the Insta buddies. And then everyone said big smiles, except for some people that they said sad faces.
No.
But yeah. So that was I asked a lot of questions on the Instagram machine, and that's what people said.
I want to know what
Windmill
Valley looks like and where Hands Play Games is living in Windmill Valley.
In Windmill Valley.
That sounds a cool place to live.
It's Denmark.
Far away.
No, Holland.
Far away.
Where do they have the windmills?
Far away in Windmill Valley.
Yeah. Loot.
So anyway. just if you want to write letters to Hands Plays Games, it's far away in Windmill Valley.
Yeah. She is a womble. I don't think she is a womble. Anyway, that was that, and that's the podcast for the day. So thank you very much for listening.
So it's really get into
UKGE. Get into Games Expo.
Get into game. Oh, you're going to create your own expo.
Yeah, it's going to be the Get Into Games Expo.
And it's in our kitchen. So if anybody wants to come to the Get Into Games Expo, feel free to
Get Into Games Expo is going to be between Friday the 31st of May and the 2nd of June.
Is everyone coming to our house?
Yeah, everyone is welcome. Right. Tickets are on sale now. They are £85.
Whoa!
A day.
They'd have to be, because we'd have to build a lot more rooms in our house.
Yeah. And we also won't be here because we'll be there. So they'll be on our drive.
Walk into your mum looking after our kids.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, you can walk into my mum. I mean, you might have to walk around her.
I think we should, wrap up before people have to hear our whole life story.
All right then. Yo, sick and tings. I'm gonna rap. Bling, bling, bling.
Wow, that was the best rap ever. Oh my gosh. Don't give up your day job.
Get Into Games is our names. Hers is Becky and mine's not the same because it's Craig.
Okay.
Remember to get into games. Sick. Spin that, DJ. Sick.